Welcome back to Educational Currency. I'm Robert Naumoski, proprietor of Ultimate Jiu-Jitsu and the Coaching College.
I'm Kalodikis from Maximum Education, and today we have with us a very special guest. We have Miss Amy Fisher from Mrs. Fisher's Ballet Academy joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, look, Amy, we've got you on our show this week, and look, following on from our podcast last week, we made mention of a key point that was made in that podcast about young people needing independence and responsibility and how to develop that. I've got two daughters of my own, and you've done wonders with them at your Ballet Academy. We're hoping today to get a bit of an insight into your background in ballet, what you've done in your career, your development of your own small business, which is expanding at a very rapid pace, and then essentially how you are developing this independence and responsibility and really many life skills in the young people that attend your academy. So we'll get started. We'll get started. So just to start off, Amy, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? What was your ballet journey?
Okay, so ballet's been a part of my life since I was 5 years old. And I was really lucky that the school that I went to had a ballet class, and it was 30 minutes, not much, but I loved it. And then my ballet teacher was sort of chasing my mum up and down the street saying, you should bring your daughter to my dance studio, because this was just a ballet at school kind of program. Yeah. And she was like pregnant with my brother, so she was like, oh, not ready. And then she just kept sort of going at her, and finally my mum said yes, and then I joined the ballet teacher that I had at school, her studio, and that was it. Yeah. So basically from 7 years old I was doing my ballet exams, I was doing ballet competitions, and it started with like a couple classes a week, but then it ended up becoming 6 days a week. My life revolved around ballet.
So that's good. So you really found your passion.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. And I still love it, and I just think it's one of the best things.
Yeah. And in saying that it's one of the best things, what are those things about ballet that you loved initially? What was it that kept you in there that, really drew you to it?
Yeah, I think it's the joy of movement and also music, and there's so much creativity and like freedom, but also ballet teaches you that if you want to achieve anything in life, you have to work for it. Yes. So there's no quick fixes in ballet. You can't just snap your fingers and that's it, you can do the splits. You really have to do the hours. So I think that's so important for students as well today in this kind of society where you can get things instantly, that it teaches you that you need to work hard, but it's also so fun. Yeah.
Has to be.
And then performance. I mean, this sounds kind of corny and whatever, but like nothing beats live performance and performing on stage. It's so magical, and it's just the best feeling in the world. So yeah.
That's awesome. So and especially now, so this is the educational currency, and you are a teacher.
Yes. A
teacher of ballet. So when your students do come to you, what progress do you see in their character? As you mentioned, there's that level of discipline as well that ballet does take. But is there anything else that you get to see that a student develops?
Yeah, I would say confidence. Definitely. Yeah. Like I really feel that ballet changes lives. So sometimes we see students come in and they're shy or they're clinging onto their parent, and then after a few ballet classes they're walking tall, they're confident, and they just feel good about themselves, and ballet gives them that. Yeah.
And I can verify that, like you obviously seen my eldest daughter now for four years. And, she is a shy character, but then the things you've done with her in ballet and seeing her
she's
perform,
transformed. Really, ballet just changes you.
And that obviously will affect in a positive way all other aspects of her life at school, socializing with friends.
So when you're happy
academics,
and you have something that you love, then your whole life benefits.
Yeah.
So happy kids then equals success.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially how for yourself at such a young age you actually found your passion. Yeah. And then having that passion develops your character. Having that discipline for that passion. So how do you, as a teacher, as a professional ballet teacher, how do you instill that passion in a student? Any tips you have for us? Something we can translate back as teachers in the classroom? Well,
I feel like the energy that I give off in my class, and I demonstrate everything. So I'm showing them how it should be, and then just the vibe. So we don't have like an old school ballet vibe. I try to be as positive and supportive. And the way I like to work as well is by, so obviously in ballet you have constructive criticism, but I always try to build them up and say, you were doing this so well, but now just try and do this. So then they're not just hearing like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you know, that kind of thing. And I feel like that really helps them with the confidence. But I have a passion for ballet, so I love sharing that with everybody. That's one of the reasons why I started my school, is because I felt that I just really wanted to share my love of ballet with everyone. So I think that rubs off on the students. I mean, I don't want to sound, do you know what I mean? But I just feel like I love it so much. Yeah. And so then that's the vibe that we have at our school.
Yeah, usually if you love something so much, you want to share it with someone, and then you will work twice as hard as trying to get that information across.
And I just feel like I've accumulated so much as like I've been dancing 30 years. So I really want to be able to share that with the next generation.
And yourself, does that take your dancing to a new level, your understanding of dancing as you teach?
Obviously, we think differently as teachers, than when we're performers. So I'm lucky that I've been able to have a professional like ballet career in Australia and overseas. But then now I've transitioned into teaching. So it is a different way of thinking, because I was like, everything came naturally to me as a dancer. But as a teacher, we have to break it all down. And that was a learning curve. But I was lucky that I did my training with the Royal Academy of Dance. And so I got my certificate in ballet teaching studies. And that's really helped me.
That's awesome. And now you're a small business owner. Congratulations on the awards.
Yay!
Well, look, on that topic too, building up towards that, you just mentioned you travelled around the world.
Yes.
Could you let us know a bit about that?
Yes.
Like, that sounds pretty cool.
That's interesting, yes.
Yeah, so basically ballet has taken me around the world. My ballet shoes have touched down in probably more than 12 countries and numerous cities. So I've danced all over Europe, the United States, Canada, all around Australia, New Zealand. Yeah.
What were the particular highlights? Like, what were the events like? That would be insane.
Yeah, so how the whole going overseas came about was that I did ballet competitions, and I started doing them just locally in Sydney. But as my training went on and I wanted to become a professional, my teacher put me into these competitions that were overseas, and that's really where that kind of opened the world up to me in a way. So when I was 15, I was a finalist in the Genet Awards in London. So this is dancers from all around the world, and I made it, into the top 12, and I was representing Australia in that. And then from there, I was performing at Sadler's Wells Theatre in London, which is just like the ballet history there is off the charts. But from there, I got a ballet scholarship to train in Germany, in Munich. And that's when I first moved overseas to live permanently, was when I was 16.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I got my first professional contract when I was 18, and then it went from there.
Oh, wow. So any big productions you've performed in?
Well, I've performed in like most of the classic ballets like Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, Don Quixote, Romeo and Juliet, Giselle. Yeah, nice. There's heaps. I mean,
I've actually watched Swan Lake. I've been to see it.
Such a classic. I feel like it's just like the go-to.
Yes. So as a teacher now, how have you changed teaching students? Because we do want people who want to get into the teaching profession. They have a passion. You have a passion for a subject. What advice would you give to them?
I would say you have to love it. Because
which
teaching's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to have for ballet, you need to have a lot of experience, and what I love about the ballet tradition is it's all like passed down through the generations. So what my teachers taught me, and then I'm now passing that on. There's something so beautiful about the ballet tradition, but you do need to have like a good solid base and background to be a ballet teacher. Yeah. And then also you need to be really good with kids, and you need to love what you're doing and wanting to share and pass that on. Yeah, you can't be selfish.
Yeah, because they want to see that to become motivated themselves.
Yeah, and I think also I love seeing the students like achieve their goals.
Yeah,
So with what you're saying, Amy, there too, you've now got this worldwide experience that now you're bringing into your business, and you're transitioning and have transitioned quite successfully into now teaching young people ballet. What was the point that kind of led to you deciding, you know what, it's time for me to start my very own ballet studio and for me to give that forward? What kind of were the steps that were involved there that led to that?
Okay, so I've always wanted to have my own ballet academy, even since I was like 8 years old. I decided I wanted to be a ballerina when I was 7. So I just decided that's it, and I'm going to be a ballerina, and then I'm going to have my own studio.
Wow.
And then I had this really crazy thing where I was going to have this like ballet cafe at my studio. So I haven't had that yet.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's like a kid thing. I just really wanted that. But
Rockdale needs it. I'm telling you now.
But so it was kind of just a natural progression. So after performing and then it came to the point where I was retired from the stage. So it just became a natural point that I really wanted to teach. But that's not the case for everybody. But I always wanted to have my own ballet academy, but more so like a ballet family, not just like a dance business, like a dance studio. I really wanted a community where everyone was supporting each other and we could all like embrace our love of ballet and just be like ballet besties. That was really where it came from. Not so much from like a business side, but more so that I just really wanted to share my passion with others and also everything that I've learned along the way. So I really felt that I had, I know it sounds corny again, but something to give.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's the whole perspective. You've gained this experience, and now you are a natural teacher. So you have to teach.
Yeah, I feel like it's in my bones to teach.
Yeah, you have to. So you
pass that knowledge on.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like I love it.
Yeah, that's so from your perspective, a child walks in through your doors, and you get that satisfaction in seeing them progress. And obviously the skill that you're developing progresses them as humans as well. So for yourself as a teacher, what are the levels that you would like them to see at 6, at 8, at 10, where you know yourself, okay, I have made a difference in this child's life?
Yeah, every child's different, but I guess we start with the preschool ballet, and that's so beautiful because it's just introducing them to a love of music and movement. It's not about, we say it's like progress over perfection. So, and also we focus on the journey and not the destination, because ballet is a journey. It takes years. So that class is just, it's about finding the feel of the movements over the form, if that makes sense. So with skipping, for example, we just want them to feel free, like, and learn how to skip and the feeling of that. And then once they reach like kindergarten, that's when we hone in on the technique and try to have like a positioned foot and a pointed and stretched leg and things like that. So we always start with the feeling before the form. So I really love that. And I just want the students to love ballet when they start and have a passion for it. And as they start going up the levels, then we can go down the ballet exam route. And ballet exams are so important because it's a milestone that you reach every year, and it's not a scary thing. It's really a big part of ballet training, and it gives you a goal to work towards, and it just helps you so much. Like, it helps your technique. So that really starts from 6, the exams, and then primary ballet exam, and then they can keep moving up the levels in terms of where they should be at what age. You know, when you said the 6 or 8, every child's different. So some students, you know, they improve rapidly when they're young, and then they taper off a little bit. And some, you know, are just a gradual climb. And the best way is slow and steady.
Yeah.
Always.
Just a projection upwards, not being perfect, not being able to do 100 pirouettes when you're, 7 years old. Overtraining is something that I don't believe in as well. So we just want them to gradually go, and every child's different, and they reach their levels and their milestones at their own pace. It's not a cookie cutter, you're going to be able to do this at this age. Of course, there are certain milestones, and that's where the exams come in, that we want to make sure that the students have learned all the steps required for that level and that they can do that, because every level builds upon the next. So, if they can do all the steps for grade 1, we know that they've got a good foundation when they reach grade 2, and then grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc.
Yeah.
We need to bring you into schools.
Yeah.
Because we pretty much, as teachers, that's basically, you've described our profession.
But I really try, back on that thing, I honestly try that I don't want students comparing themselves to others, because everybody's journey is different and everyone has different circumstances. So I really try to have a supportive environment in my studio where I say to all of the students, you're not competing against your classmates. Actually, we're all trying to make each other better. And don't be judging yourself against others. Because, as I said, some people can go really quickly up and then plateau, and some just, slowly get there. And when you're if you want to become a professional dancer, it's best to reach your peak when you're about 15, 16, not when you're 7.
Yeah. Well, as your body's more developing towards
that. And that happens. People do reach the peak at 7, even with all the effort. It seems to be more of a struggle.
They can still keep going, but I'm just saying for safe dance training, because all my training is on safe dance practice. So we prefer climbing the mountain, slow, smart, and then reaching the peak. If they want to be professional, but also you can just do ballet because you love it and for fun. So the reality is, it's a slim chance to become a professional ballet dancer. There's, it's like any professional sports. Not everybody's going to go down that route, but the skills that ballet teach you are for life. So it doesn't matter what you do, whatever career you have, whatever profession, everything that you learn in ballet helps you and gets you there. Because ballet dancers are multitaskers on another level. I know it sounds a bit over the top, but when you're dancing, you are thinking about so many different things at once. You've got to remember all the steps, but then you've got to remember the technique of the steps, how they should be executed. Then you've got to remember the topography of the space, so where you need to be at what point in the choreography. Then you've got to remember all that choreography. Then you've got the musicality and the timing. And then on top of that, you've got the performance skills. Oh, wow. So there's so many things going on. So I always find that's why it helps kids with their academics so much, because through ballet they become critical thinkers, particularly when they're learning choreography. We're going to create a routine and we've got to see, how's it working? Okay, you've got to go there, you've got to remember this. Okay, that's not working, let's change this. And it's a collaboration. And so the students are learning these collaborative skills. Ballet is not just an individual activity. That's what sometimes people think it is. It's a group. It's like a team sport. Everybody's putting in together to create something beautiful. So this critical thinking and problem solving, it helps them with mathematical equations, and also ballet is all about counts and timing. So it's a lot more academic than people actually might think, but then it has the magic of creative expression and art.
Yeah, especially for students who are more creative. This could be a great physical outlet, and for their health and for their physical well-being. And you look at any ballerina, they are
art
very
together.
Strong.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like I was saying, you look at ballerinas, they are very strong. They are specimens of physicality.
Yeah, I know. The ballet profession is, you have to be really strong, and often really stronger than football players.
I would, coming from a martial arts background, you could teach any ballerina to fight. Absolutely. And I think a good example of that is the late Patrick Swayze. Absolutely. He went from his mother had a ballet school. And then he went on into martial arts career of acting and everything else.
Isn't Van Damme the same? I think he's got a background in ballet too. Well, he at least mentions it in kickbox. In my martial arts training early on,
the head teacher bring a ballerina in to teach us how to move.
Oh, cool.
How to actually move across the floor more efficiently in this smooth sort of way. And we practiced it. And you even look at it in the old movies of Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger, how the bodybuilders posed. Actually, a ballerina teaches them how to gracefully move on stage and show off their muscles.
Yeah.
So
well, my brother did rugby league.
Yeah.
So,
that's where it comes from, doesn't it?
Yeah, but he did ballet as well. So he did his ballet exams, and so it really helped him with all the kicking and everything that you have to do if you're like trying to kick goals.
Oh, absolutely. So back to you back to you as a teacher, because we're really interested. Well, I'm really interested in you developing as a teacher.
Okay.
So you've had 4 years now you've been teaching, or you taught before that?
Well, I've been teaching longer than that. I've had my studio for 4.5 years, my own school. But I've been teaching for more than 10 years,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you would be before you'd open up.
But even when I was a student, sometimes I was assistant teaching. My teachers, like they made me also like an assistant teacher.
Okay, so how's it running a small business now?
I love it.
It's good.
Like it's a dream of mine to have my own studio, and I really wanted to have a studio in St. George as well, and I wanted it to be like the go-to ballet studio. That's what I set out.
So how long have you been running your studio for now by yourself?
By myself it's like 4.5 years. We're turning 5 soon. We're going into our 5th year soon.
Okay, welcome to Rockdale.
And look, on that knowledge, if anyone's doing their maths out there, your start to your studio, obviously there were some initial challenges, obviously, with what was going on in the world at that time. And if I can talk about ballet skills too, discipline and resilience is definitely 2 things you had to show during that time, you know? So fill us in on how it was and how you adapted to when there were lockdowns starting and you're like 6 months into a new business. How did you adapt?
So basically, I remember the announcement when we were going into lockdown, and the next day we pivoted to online. So I didn't have any break. That night I just worked it out, sent out an email like, we're going online, and that was it. And then I started, doing the ballet classes in my lounge room. And it was a good way to connect and keep going and sort of keep this connection with the families and the students. And also just that really built our community as well. Of course, online's difficult. It's got its challenges. But the COVID was difficult because it was in my first year of owning a studio, and then COVID came around a second time in the second year of owning a studio. So that's some serious challenges, especially running a business so early. And then having COVID come in within 6 months within you opening the doors. It can get overwhelming. I know for myself, I've been, same thing, adjusting. But I just had no options. Like, I wasn't giving up. So
no chance.
I just and that is a thing about ballet, is that it is a lot of discipline, perseverance, dedication. The thing I said before, there's no quick fixes. If you want to achieve anything, you have to put the work in. And so that's obviously helped me. Because I feel like if you can do ballet, you can do anything.
Yeah, pretty much, especially the passion you have.
No, but for anybody.
That's right.
If you can do ballet, you can really tackle anything. Because the skills you learn in the studio, they just transfer in everything you do in your life. The focus, the discipline, the posture, the control, the flexibility, and then the whole, the thing that we touched on earlier, like the critical thinking skills, the problem solving, and the confidence it gives you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you're always putting yourself out there.
Yeah, especially for how you've got the studio with the younger kids, any sort of physical movement builds their brain.
That's right.
And now with having someone passionate like yourself with the ballet, well, that's actually would improve their academic life as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's very important for parents to have that balance as well. Like if you're doing something physically, it's best to stick with it, especially for kids through primary school. Sometimes parents can get a bit carried away. Well, now my child's in year 5, in year 6, we are going to push them into this academic life, get them into selective schools, and then their life is set once they enter into these schools. But you could be taking your child away from some passion that would actually make them happy adults, and actually removing them from this field will affect them academically. So it's one of those things to really consider as parents, especially having kids at such a young age, putting that pressure on them academically. And coming myself from a tuition center, kids that come from a sporting background that's disciplined, like ballet, they are very easy to teach. Very easy to teach academically. They've got the discipline, they've got the structure. All we need to do is bring our passion on the table and teach them. So thank you very much for that.
Ballet dancers are superhumans.
They are. They definitely are. And
but also back just quickly on that. Yeah. If the child is happy, they will do well in everything in their life.
Absolutely.
So happy kids equals successful kids. And students do need that balance, and ballet does provide that creative outlet, but it helps them so much with everything. And if they love something, it improves the quality of their life overall.
Yeah, especially if you've got a shy, creative child, this could be their passion.
The avenue to expression.
Absolutely. So from a person who doesn't understand any ballet, I'm thinking of, say, having a child, sending them to some sort of dance. What advice would you recommend to parents for ballet?
I would say that every child deserves the chance to dance, and that everyone can dance and everybody should dance, and that ballet is the basis of all dance styles. So if you can do ballet, then you can do any other dance style. So it's so important to get a good start. It's like building a house. You need to have a really good foundation. And if the foundation is strong and solid, you're just going to grow and flourish. But if the foundation is shaky, then it's hard. And that's what ballet gives you, the best foundation.
Awesome. So that's really good advice for parents. If you are thinking of any sort of dance for your child, definitely ballet is the one to go to.
Ballet is best.
Ballet is best.
Look, and you do fantastic with it. And I actually want to credit to you as we talked just a bit about how you put together the online during lockdown. Like even then, although you weren't doing the face-to-face, you were supporting wellbeing and, giving these children routines still at a time when there wasn't much going on.
So consistency, mental health.
Yeah, so you adapted so well. And look, I consider that a success. And from that, I want to say as well, then, what are some other successes both in your career in ballet and then as a teacher in ballet that you can express to our audience?
Okay. So I guess as a success as a student, I always did extremely well in my ballet exams. For my grade 8 exam, I got 100%.
Wow.
And I was always like 98. And then I achieved my solo seal. So solo seal, you might not know about it, but it's the highest level of ballet that you can get within the Royal Academy of Dance. And so it's sort of less than 1% of dancers worldwide have this.
Wow.
So it's really the pinnacle, and it's just either a pass or fail situation.
Yeah.
And I had to go to Melbourne to do that when I was 17. Wow. Yeah. And that was really amazing. So there's that. And then I guess I was a Cicchetti gold medalist as well. And so that was really fun. I think I touched on that I was a finalist in the Genet. Yes. So that's an international global competition in London. And then I was a finalist in the Alana Haynes Awards, which was the whole of the South Asia Pacific. And what else? I won scholarships. Yeah. I won numerous competitions. So,
wow.
I really loved that. But it was only in a sense that I wanted to improve myself as a dancer. It wasn't about winning.
Yeah.
It's never about winning. It's always about getting a chance to get on stage and learn from your experiences and see what you did well and what you can improve on. And all the prizes were all just like bonuses.
Yeah.
And
what was your favourite performance? Any show in particular where you went, okay, this one stands out more than the rest?
I don't know if you know the ballet Coppelia, but I got to play the main character, which is Swanhilda, and this is a really difficult ballet because it's 3 acts, and Swanhilda's dancing the entire time in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Like, she's carrying the show, and it has so much storytelling, and it's really quirky, and it was just so beautiful. It's like one of my best memories.
I'm going to definitely look it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I guess the success of...
As a business owner now, and your actual academy. I know you've had quite a few. Share them with us.
Yeah, so success from a teacher's point of view is seeing students achieve their dreams and goals as well. Like when I see them reach those milestones and goals, I find that really successful. But also our business, our studio has done really well. So we won Most Outstanding Dance Studio in St. George. And we also won Best Performing Arts in Bayside.
Wow.
And then our studio was a part of the Australian Small Business Awards for Best Dance Studio in Australia. And we were a finalist in that.
Yeah. And doesn't that blow you away? Like, we just spoke about what your beginnings were like and how you got hit with the lockdowns in the first years, and then to move within 3 to 4 years, and then suddenly you're one of the best dance schools in Australia.
It's moved at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
But I also think it's because I work really hard. And that's what ballet taught me.
Yeah, it's driven by passion as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. It doesn't, I'll be honest, I feel so happy and privileged to do what I do because I don't actually feel like it's work.
That's when
I just love it so much. It's not even like a job to me. It's just a passion. Yeah. I do it every day. So
No, it's fantastic. And you mentioned as well that part of from your childhood, that the successes were, the performances you put on.
Yeah.
One thing that I've found amazing is obviously you've had in the past 2 years your own end of year performances for your academy.
Yeah.
Tell us what goes on behind the scenes and putting that together, because they are magic. What I've seen my daughters do on stage and what all the children look like. How do you put this stuff together for such a young age bracket too?
Yeah, end of year performance is epic. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So every single class has to have a different piece of music, different choreography, different costumes, and then we've got to design the whole theme, the sets, the lighting design, that all comes down to me. It's a one-woman show, but I have the help of my mum, which is amazing, who works with me. And then, there's a lot that goes into the end-of-year performance, more than people might think. Yeah. It's hours and hours of work. It's preparing a year in advance. It's a lot, but it's amazing because when you see the children's faces when they get on stage, the joy that they have, and then all their families there supporting them, it's such a beautiful experience. And it's basically the end of year performance is like the grand final, of the year. And ballet is a performance art. It's not just something that takes place in the studio. No. And that's why performances are so important for students, because they learn so much about themselves and they build so much confidence through every performance. Yeah. And I know the students are always we had the end of year show last year, and they're always asking me every week, what are we doing for this year's end of year concert? They're so excited. What costumes am I getting? We're doing the measurements at the moment for the costumes. And so, it's we're planning very far in advance. But then there's the whole backstage that we have to organise.
The stuff I don't
Everyone's
see.
dressing rooms, the runners, the people with headsets, the sound guys. There's a lot of stuff that goes into an end of year show, and it's a collaboration. But ultimately, I'm the one that's making up all the choreography, the music choices, the costume choices, but it's just really fun.
Yeah, and look, I still remember your first year's one, and your standard of professionalism for your first show you did was just great. I was bawling my eyes out when not just my daughter, but the whole class came out knowing what they'd been working through for the first few years leading up to that. It was just an amazing experience. And then last year as well, another great follow-up to that.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing.
I think when you know what you're doing, then you get the confidence, and that's when you really enjoy it. Yeah. So we always want to make sure that the dancers are prepared, because you have such a better experience when you're prepared. And that's another thing that ballet teaches you, is that with ballet you must prepare. Yeah. And that comes from even just getting ready, getting into your uniform, doing your ballet baan, and then thinking on the exercises that you learned in class, and then coming to the class ready. So it teaches you've got to warm up, you've got to stretch. And that helps you with life. Yeah. Even when you go into any kind of job. You need to prepare.
Yep.
Yeah.
And ballet teaches you that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not just preparation, resilience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
That's right.
And that's kind of what we wanted to touch on today too, with it being one of those activities that it supports your mental health no matter what stage you're at. And in doing so, it helps you in your job or at school, because you have this outlet of expression, of fitness, of, just personal performance. Like, it's just amazing, that aspect. What do you think are some key things that help with that wellbeing aspect? How would you say with ballet and the community you've developed, mental health and wellbeing is supported for your students when they come to you for a lesson?
Ballet is so good for your mental health. The ballet studio is like a safe haven. It's like when you step into the studio, nothing else matters. And everyone is there for a common goal, and we're all working towards something together. And there's so many small wins that happen in every single class, which is so good for your mental health. So every little tiny thing you achieve, I mean, one thing, just turning up and making that class, that's a win. But once you step into that class, just standing up taller, the music, it's also a sense of, like, it has a meditation feel to it as well, because you get into this zone, and there's a lot of breath work as well, because every arm movement you breathe, and then you get the endorphins, and everyone is supporting you. But, just even when you're doing the ballet bar, you achieve these steps. Tick, that's a small win. You come to the centre, you're trying a new step, you've accomplished that. You work on a pirouette, maybe last week your pirouette wasn't working, today it is. Yes, small win. That keeps you going, and that keeps students motivated and engaged and committed, and then they have a real sense of accomplishment. Like, I've achieved something. And that's just so good for your well-being.
Absolutely. You've nailed it on the head with that. Having those small wins, having those small little wins, actually gives you that sense of accomplishment, and actually drives you in towards the passion.
And
when
you're feeling good about yourself, you can always achieve so many good things.
Yeah.
And ballet does make you feel good about yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, that's it.
Congrats.
And with that too, because I mentioned that, like, you have developed a community, but you've got the ballet classes, and they're obviously a community themselves, but you've also done other things like during school holidays to enhance that community. Would you like to let the audience know some of the other things you do outside of the class that help enhance that community?
Yeah, so we do like ballet workshops, and this is a great chance for the students to explore things out of the regular ballet syllabus class, and it also is a great chance for them to bond and just form better friendships that you might not necessarily get in regular classes. And then we have different themes, or I often teach the students like repertoire workshops, so where they can actually learn repertoire from famous ballets that they wouldn't necessarily have a chance to learn at this age, but it also gives them the history of ballet, so they're learning that aspect, but they're challenging themselves, and then they're just with like-minded friends, and that's really cool. And we have like movie night, and
they love that.
things like that. And we have these amazing community events where we have Dance with Mum, where during Mother's Day the mothers come and they dance with their child, and we have Dance with Dad. And this is a really good bonding experience, because then the parents get a first-hand experience of what it's like to dance ballet as well, and also how hard it is and how well their children are doing. Because sometimes you might look at what they're doing, but you don't actually realise how much goes into it and how hard they're actually trying. But then once you ask the parents to do the steps themselves, then they're like, oh, this is really tricky. And they have like a newfound appreciation for ballet and the art form, but getting the parents in also helps educate them about how great ballet is and the benefits of it. And then we have the open days and then like our performances. But with the community, I feel like that's something that I really projected and wanted. Like when I started my business, I just really wanted this ballet family.
Yeah, community is everything.
And I want people to feel that they're a part of something and that they're included and that everyone is valued in my studio and that it's so inclusive and so supportive and so friendly. And obviously me being the principal, that comes from me. Yeah. So that's what I'm putting out there, and I'm really happy and lucky that the community came with me.
Oh, definitely.
And they embraced everything that we're doing, and they also support us. So together, I think that's how we've formed this community. Yeah. Yeah.
Well done. Very impressive.
Yeah, and also you're very modern too, I think. I think you're very open about that.
Yeah, I try to be, I don't like the old school ballet approach. Yeah. Obviously, that can come with certain stereotypes. Of course, my teachers, I had that training. Yeah. So I wanted something different with my studio, and I wanted a place where everybody could come and dance. And as soon as they walk through that front door, this is something when somebody enrolled recently, they feel like, oh, this is the place for me. As soon as they step in, they can see themselves as a dancer. Yeah. That was really important, and that they feel welcomed.
So that's something I found now talking to you. You became almost the teacher you would have wanted. Yeah. That's and it could be great advice for other beginner teachers out there. Yeah. We get the benefit of the people that have taught us in the past, and then we add to that, which is very impressive in what you've done. So, no one size fits all, but then you become the person that you would have wanted teaching you. And this is exactly what you've created.
Don't get me wrong, I had some amazing teachers and everything, they believed in me. That's what I want to give to my students. I just tell them how proud I am of them and that I believe in you and that you can do this, because it always starts with the teacher believing in you, and then you feel that you can achieve anything. Yeah. And then obviously my parents supported me with everything that I was doing.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So how's
that support at work?
So how's the balance? You're married, you're running a business. So from
balance. There's no balance.
We're trying to she's got a lot of support around ballet.
Yeah. No. Well,
I have a work-life balance? Is that what you mean?
I don't. So
I don't.
So if you're really
I'll be honest.
If you're really passionate about something, there is no work-life balance. There's your passion.
It's ballet 24/7.
Yeah. But I think you highlighted too, when you love something, it doesn't feel like work,
Yeah, so that's true.
That's what's supportive and gets you going through every day, isn't it?
Yeah. I would like to find some work-life balance.
Me too.
Need another day in the
week. There's always so much to do, and I have so many goals and ideas. So it's we're still growing and building. And that's the other thing with ballet is you never stop learning. Mm-hmm. So as a teacher, we're always learning more skills. I always have to do professional development, learning different ways to teach different technique. I'm constantly learning. I never stop learning. Yeah. That's something that I got from my ballet training as a student. It's just a never-ending journey of learning.
Yes.
And always trying to be better.
Yeah, that's very important for all teachers.
That's what our big mantra is, that we're all ongoing learners, and it's great you said that, that we constantly, I'm happy with where I'm at, but how will I be better even further going forward? So,
and I'm always planning so far ahead.
And we've had that theme appear in a previous podcast. I mean, if you're teaching anything, one, the passion is there. You literally tick every box. And then having that ongoing learning, regardless of your profession. That could go into students with their careers. You could literally pick any career, any profession you want. If you've got the passion and you've got that passion for the career and the learning, then you really wouldn't even call it a job.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's good that you get to pursue your passion.
Look, so lucky.
All right, and my final question to you, Amy, is there are people out there who might want to get in touch with you and find out more about Miss Fisher's Ballet Academy. How can they do this?
So you can go to our website at www.missfishersballet.com.au, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Miss Fisher's Ballet, and we would love to welcome you to our studio. We hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Fantastic having you on.
Thanks for having me.
And
Thanks so much.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next episode. I'm Robert Naumoski.
And I'm Chris Kalodikis. See you next episode.
See you.
Thanks, Amy. Bye.
Bye.